Hey everyone, this is EstaRa with a message for you today. It is Friday, January 27th, 2017, and we have a new moon today. And I want to apologize. I am not feeling 100%. I'm feeling almost there. I've been really not feeling well for about a week. I've been really tired, and then all of a sudden I had the chills and exhaustion and fever on and off. So I've been delirious on and off all week. I've had moments of oh, I feel good, and then moments where I feel horrible. So I've been laying low the last few days, literally laying low, not even doing anything. Canceled all my appointments yesterday and just stayed relaxed and did nothing. I actually watched a movie. Many of you may have seen it before. It's called Somewhere in Time. I saw it years ago. Someone had mailed it to me a few years back, and I never watched it because I knew it was emotional. So I watched it yesterday, and it was wow. So what's interesting is I got some messages over the last few days during my moments of clarity. And I call them that because I've had a lot of moments where I felt completely delirious. I had friends ask me some questions, and I was, oh, my computer stand is broken. I need a new one. They asked me lots of questions, and I'd be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I give them I don't know, I'm your really sick, intuitive friend with a very high fever. I'm kind of delusional right now, delirious. And then I'd go to sleep, wake up, and I'd feel clear as day, and I'd have all this epiphany coming in, and I would have answers. So during this illness, it's been kind of interesting, I must say. So lots has been going on energetically. So the last 3 days, I've been wanting to record a message, but honestly, I didn't feel well enough until today to do this. And it's perfect because it's the new moon. But the last 3 days, I felt a shift in the energy, a lightening up of the energy. So it's a little bit lighter than it's been. And I really feel movement happening, even though on the surface it doesn't feel like it. And honestly, I've been sick. So I've done nothing. I've just been in bed and trying to take care of me. So it's been a lightening of the energy. And I got some little messages. So the movie, I want to go back to the reason I was talking about the movie. So in that movie, I was a little sad at the end because, of course, he dies. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, I shouldn't say that in case you didn't see it. So scrap that from your mind in case you haven't seen it. But I recommend it. It's actually a pretty decent movie. Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve and I want to say Jane Seymour. An older movie back in the 80s, I believe. So it gave me a message about when I was growing up. I watched a lot of those movies, the Unrequited Love, the Lost Love, the end, of whatever, or Longing for Someone, all those love stories. I'm sure all of you have seen them and you know what I'm talking about. But when I was watching it, I got a really clear sense that that is the old energy. That's past. That's because we didn't have the ability to come together in union in the previous lifetimes, and we didn't have the ability to come together in full physical union like we have an opportunity in this timeline. That my guides are cheering me on because this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a few days. So we've not had this opportunity before. Usually it comes to pretty much a traumatic end or tragic end. I don't know about you, but I remember about 20, 21 or so of my lifetimes that I've had. And I remember my twin being in almost every one of them. I think there might have been one that I don't recall him being in. But in those lifetimes, usually we were separated. We weren't always we weren't always male, female. Sometimes it was male, male. Sometimes it was mother, son, or father, child, or mother and child. And sometimes I was the male. Sometimes he was the female. So all those we experienced the up, the down, the all around, the back, forth, all of it, And in those lifetimes, it wasn't time and it wasn't possible. The density was too high on the planet. We didn't have the extra support to come together. So now we do. So I feel like my message to you is that movie, it's great and it's kind of cool. It's a cool story. And you'll understand it as a twin. But what's really wild is I felt like that's the old stuff. It's not here anymore. We're in this new energy where it is possible. So from my younger years, even from the 80s, so I grew up in the 70s and 80s. So when I think about that time period. I watched a lot of unrequited love movies, a lot of like separation where I couldn't stay with that person, or they couldn't stay with that person. And that was like the story, the programming, the belief that you can't really have love, that you have to settle for less than what you deserve, or you have to settle for whatever is given to you, not what you really want. And that was a belief that obviously I held on to and I believed in, and I thought, oh, it's not possible. Well, guess what? That belief is somewhere inside of us, and we need to clear it and remove it from us. It's funny, this information is coming in and I'm thinking, oh yeah, we do. We need to clear that from us, that belief that we can't have what we want and that we're not deserving or worthy of what we want, or it's not possible. Anything is possible now. And I do believe that, because the magic that happens in my life every single day is beyond belief for the majority of people. And I'm blessed and grateful for it every second. But we can actually have that union. We don't have to buy into that old paradigm. So that was like the first message I got. Later in the day, I was sitting there and I had gone on my social media for 5 minutes and my head was pounding and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I can't even read things. I couldn't even read my emails. I had to cancel clients and I emailed them, and I don't think I was very clear. And those of you who've emailed me, I'm sorry. I have not responded. I'm just, I haven't been myself. I'm hoping to like look through email today and tomorrow. So this weekend I'll be doing a lot of catch up, and I promise to get my classes out. By the way, the manifestation class is February 4th. So it's next Saturday. I'll be sending out some information. It's really cool. It's really going to be cool, I think. I'm excited about it. My guides have been kind of pumping me up and propping me up for that specific class, so I'm excited. The other message I got that day was, I was sitting there after looking at social media thinking like, oh my God, all this drama that's happening. I don't care who anybody wants for president or didn't want for president. I had I had a couple people reach out to me saying, you need to see the positive, you need to see the truth. Well, listen, I see the truth, but I don't have to buy into what other people's truth is. And I want to say that there is so much that is changing every second of the day. And my guide said to me, it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. Go into your heart, raise your frequency and vibration, and you'll see more clearly. And, for months now, I know I've been battering all of you with raise your vibration, raise your frequency, make you a priority, make you a priority. It's not just being said to do that. Like, there's a reason behind it. And the reason is that you raise your perspective when you're in higher frequency. You raise your ability to manifest when you're in higher frequency. You raise your truth by being in higher frequency. So like, your reality will change based on your frequency. Your perspective changes based on your frequency. And so the higher frequency we're in and the higher vibration that we're at, the higher your frequency will be. Because a lot of us, I think, get caught up in the drama out here. And if you're in a lower vibration, it's easier to get pulled into it and you go back and forth. Well, I'm not doing that. So those of you who've emailed me or commented about that, I'm not going to engage in anything that's not of my highest good, not for the highest good for me or anybody else, and I don't engage in the drama. So any angry comments people have, I don't bother, because it's their perspective, and that's fine. And I honor you for your perspective, and I honor me for my perspective. But what I'm trying to teach and bring to you is the awareness that I'm receiving every single day. And I'm trying to bring you all into that alignment, because if you're in your heart, that's what makes everything possible. That's what makes the union possible, because the more you're in a higher frequency, the more you can see clearly. And if you go back to that movie that I was just talking about, in there, it was really the power of how he was thinking that changed his life. So I do encourage you to watch it for that reason, to get the little tidbits. But I just want you to realize that we are here to evolve the planet as twin flames. We're not just here for the romantic union. I know a lot of us want that, and that is our focus. And I am by no means not susceptible to wanting that romance, that passion, and that love. I absolutely do. But I also know we're here for a greater mission, and that is to transform this planet from a place of fear to a place of love. Now, it's happening little by little by little, and it's been happening incrementally over the last several years. But it now needs to happen with a blast and a burst, and the energy I just get is this burst has to happen, and that's how twin flames come together. So, you know, I've been doing this work for years, and I haven't really put myself out there until the last year because I was really pummeled and prodded by my guides to do these videos and to reach out to all of you. But I remember several years ago, I want to share this with you because I feel like it's pertinent information, and they just showed me a flash of it. So several years ago, I was doing a healing session with someone. And so a lot of times I'm very multidimensional in my life. And what I mean by that, and I wasn't during my car accident. So during a few 2 to 3 years, I had a lot of difficulty seeing the dimensions. I had to get there. But my normal life, whatever is normal, right? But this is my normal. So my normal life is, I'm able to have a conversation with you, but see etheric stuff happening constantly in different dimensions, like different dimensional things. And I do that with my work, and I get really clear when I'm working with individuals because I close my eyes and I really go there. But when I'm talking, I still see things, and things still happen with my eyes open. And I remember years ago, first I'll share this little story with you. So I was teaching a class on Reiki. I was teaching a Reiki energy healing class. And during the class, I did the attunements, and I sat down and I said to my guides, okay, you can attune me. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm seeing me walking in this beautiful garden, which, by the way, I painted, and someday I'll share that. I painted this beautiful garden. I saw this beautiful garden and this giant doorway where, like, it was cracked open a little, so the light was pouring through, and I was like, wow. And I saw a guide come up to me, and I was walking down this path, and this is all happening as I'm finishing the attunement. So then I said to my class, would you like to go over, share what your experience was? Now, mind you, almost every class, everybody shares. This class, no one wanted to share. I said, okay, well, I guess we can go to lunch. Let's go ground. So we took a walk down the street where my office was. We walked down the road, and we're walking to a restaurant. As I'm walking this path, and I have this guide next to me with his hand out saying, come with me. And I said, where are we going? He's like, just come with me. And so I trusted him. As I'm walking down the street, we sit in the restaurant, and we're all doing orders. I'm ordering my food, and they open the doorway, and they say, and my guide said, come in. And another angel meets me. And so I said, where are you taking me? We're taking you to your beloved. And there was my beloved right in front of me. And we got married in a higher dimension. That was all happening as I'm like ordering my meal, having my meal brought here, having conversation with people. I wanted to share this so bad with the people at my table. But one, they would think I'm absolutely nuts. Two, they have no clue about that multidimensional energy, because at the time, it was like, this is like a beginning Reiki thing. They didn't know what to think. But even more than that, that was like my normal life. Like, I would actually do normal things and things would happen. Well, that's happening again, which is so great and wonderful. It's been happening for the last year. But I had this experience where I was working on a client, and I saw this beautiful thing like spread out in front of me. It looked like, I was like, wow, is that like the galaxy? I saw these lights, it was this dark thing. It was like a map. And I was like, oh my God, is that like the galaxy, the stars? And my guys were like, no, that's Earth. And I said, really? And they said, it's flattened out. It's like a map. And I said, wow, that's really amazing. And look at all the light over here. And that was the United States. And so they showed that in the United States, there's a lot of light workers, that a lot of twin flames are here. A lot of light workers are, and they showed me that everybody was planted in different locations, but specific to why they were there. Like, every single light on that map represented twin flames. And then they showed all of a sudden how things moved a little, and there's like an adjustment, and then it was like the lights got bigger, and I was like, what is that? That's the unions. They told me that was the unions. And they showed me the connection. So they actually connected everything. And it was this beautiful grid work, if you will, this light work, lattice work of like light coming together. And we're all here for a reason. And so they told me as time got closer, clearer and clearer information would come as to our mission. And I got to tell you, my mission's getting clearer and clearer about what I'm supposed to do with my twin. Like, right now, what I'm doing with all of you is part of my mission. But there's a bigger mission for me and my twin when we're in union. And I actually have to start it now. And I already did start it on the outside in my human life a little bit. But it's interesting. I feel like that is something that I want you all to understand, that that's happening. Like, we're here for a reason, and we're all meant to be on this plane right now. And we need to remove ourselves from the drama as much as we can, because we have a greater mission. And so those lights, that's what's changing the earth. That is what's going to change our planet. That's what's going to put us in a direction of love and like a spin of love versus the fear that we've been in on this planet. Now, the other piece is a lot of people are waiting for things to happen. You know, like someone's going to come in and save us. Let's wait and let's hear what's going to happen. We are all meant to hear what's going to happen. We are all meant to experience love at the highest possible vibration. We're all meant to experience what we need to do and what we're being called to do. So as twin flames, we have a specific mission as twin flames. Like, the big piece is to unite, to bring that love and anchor it here on the planet. But then there's another piece of it, which comes to each individual couple as we keep going together. But initially, it's to unite. But as light workers in general, we are meant to come in and awaken the rest of the planet. And once that's happened, which, by the way, I believe we're all awakened, whether we're actually going back into slumber is another story or not. But I believe the planet has had enough wake-up calls, if you will. But more are coming. And I think that, you know, we're all waiting for, I don't know, someone to come in and say, here we are. I know there's people out there that are waiting for disclosure. Like, they're going to tell us that there are aliens, they exist, and all this stuff. Well, yeah, that's possibly coming. And I'm feeling that more now than I probably ever have. You know, over the last several years, I've been hearing about it for at least, I don't know, 10, 15 years. But now I'm actually feeling, oh, it's coming. It's a potential. But here's what's crazy. We're waiting for them to come. But people, you all need to realize they're not going to rescue us. They're going to be like, we're here to help you. So what do you want to do? How do you want the earth to look? What do you want it to look like? How do you want it to feel? And so my belief is that each of us has a role in this new planet that we're creating. And I say new planet because while we're still on Earth, we are creating a new frequency, new vibration, ultimately a new planet. It is still Earth, but it's like a renewed, rebirthed Earth. So I don't know, I'm getting off on tangent there, and I apologize for that, but I actually feel like that's just important information that needs to get out there. And I'm probably going to share this with more than just my twin flame community, because I feel like that's imperative. But the reason I've encouraged everybody to stay in love and frequency is your perspective is different. If you get caught up in the drama and the illusions that are being created and manifested rapidly every day on the earth, the dark, the light, there is a dark, there is a light. But we don't need to be in the dark, the light, the dark, the light, the dark, light. We need to be in the light, because that's how we change, and that's how we create change from there. And we need to be in our hearts. And unless you're taught how to raise your frequency and manifest from love, then a lot of times we don't manifest from there. So that's important as well. What else do I want to say to you? I know there's a lot going on in my head. Again, I've been sick, and I'm still sick, and you can hear my congestion a little bit, I think. Excuse me. And I was going to stop and start this video like 4 times already, and I don't want to, because I feel like I want to just get whatever's coming out, and that's how I am, as you all know. So I'm sharing that with you, and now I want to do the reading. Actually, I think I'm going to do a separate video for the reading, because I shuffled the cards earlier. I pulled them, haven't looked at them yet. I'm going to turn them over and do them, but I'm going to do that in the next video. But I feel like this is really important for all of you. Like, we can't create what we want unless we're in the vibrational frequency that will create what we want. And we also need to move beyond the fears. You know, one of the biggest things that I've noticed over the last several months particularly is the fear that is rampant in this world. Like, there is so much fear about everything. We have our own fear of our pain. We have our own fear of our personal stuff. We have fear of global things, what are happening globally, what's happening in our community, you know, fears of who said this, who said that, fears of what is truth, what is not truth. And, you know, the one message that, you know, has been consistent that I've been teaching and talking about for years, but also just reminding you, inside of you, you have it all. You know, when I teach my classes, I tell my students always, keep what resonates, toss away the rest. because you have your truth inside of you. And sometimes it's received because you're at the place where you're able to receive it. Sometimes it's not received because you're not at the place to receive it. Sometimes it doesn't resonate with you at all, and that's totally fine. But I truly and strongly encourage you to listen to inside of your heart, because one of the things that we know as humans on this planet is whatever's happening out there is happening. But whatever's happening in here, we've not listened to. But we've always felt it was truth because it would give us that gut feeling, that push forward, that stressful, I don't feel good. You know, like we're usually not, when we're not in alignment with our truth, we get sick. We get under the weather, you know, and I know for myself, you know, one of my things that I promised when I opened my business, I think it's like 13, 14 years ago, was that I would always live the way I speak, and I do. And the times that I don't is when I'm not taking care of me, and I'm giving more to everybody else but myself, and then I usually get sick. I get like a cold or something like this. And I was around someone last week who was really sick, and I think that's the start of it, and I've been fighting it back and forth. Like, I don't want to be sick. Yes, I do. I am sick. Let me take care of me. So that's been happening. But I promised myself that I would always live that way. And so I do live this way. And not everybody likes what I have to say, and that's okay. And not everybody resonates with it, and that's totally okay as well. But I know I need to be honoring me and what my truth is. And I need to honor all of you as someone that people watch and pay attention to and listen to. The greatest gift you can give yourself is loving you and raising your frequency. And I encourage that, because to come into a place where you need to go next, to come into your knowledge and what you need for you, comes inside. It's really, that's where you get it. You don't get it out here. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to tell you. No one's going to teach you that. They're going to, if anything, they teach you not to listen to what's in here. They teach you to listen out there. I want you to go in here. Always go inside. Always know your truth is inside of you. Because if you don't, then you will easily be manipulated, and you won't be able to raise your frequency and your vibration enough to make it through this time. Our planet is really in a chaos. And I don't foresee it getting better for a little while. With that being said, though, I felt a shift in energy. I feel a lightening, like light coming in more. And I feel more of a peace and a calm than I've been feeling. So while we might still be in the chaos out there ensuing, because remember, everybody has to learn the same thing that I'm talking about. Everybody has to learn this on the planet. We have to trust inside of us, look inside for our answers, believe that we know what we're talking about, what we feel is truth, and believe it's possible to have it. Like, one of the biggest things that people don't realize is there's a part of us that doesn't believe it's possible. And so when I go back to that movie, I'm coming all full circle back to that movie Somewhere in Time. Whether you're a twin flame or not, this pertains to you, because we all have been programmed by television, by movies, by books, by family, by pain, trauma, suffering, whatever it is in your life, like your family's, your ancestral stuff, whatever it is, we've been programmed to believe that it's not always possible to have what we want, and that there is always a traumatic end, or there is always tragedy. We don't always know that there's more that we can have. And I feel like for all of you, it's time to let go of that belief system and to realize that everything is possible. We can create anything we want, and we can have everything we want, and we can make it happen in ways that we didn't know was possible before. And it's not going to come from me. It's not going to come from out there. It's going to come from you, inside of you. So I strongly encourage you to go in your heart, raise your frequency, raise your vibration, and really be in a place of love. That is going to change everything for you. So I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to record another one shortly with my reading, and hopefully I'll stay in the same frequency and vibration. I might not. I'm going to take a break. I'm not actually feeling so great. I have a headache, so I might come back a little later today. But meanwhile, I will, inside the links here, I will post a link for the manifestation class, because I do think that might be helpful for some of you, learning how to use the energy of love to create and manifest from, and use your power. And I will also, in the links, there's also a blog. My blog is in there, and there's information for you to you know, I've been getting a lot of questions. And so recently, over the last several months, I've answered so many questions from people reaching out to me. And I love that you reach out to me and ask me questions. And I don't always get to you right away, but I always get to you. And one of the things that I'd like to do is use some of the questions and answer them for all of you. So I'll either do that through a video, which would be really easy, so I don't have to type anything. But I actually prefer the writing because I find that writing is fun for me, but also I feel like that is a great way to like put it aside and then listen to it later and read it when you're ready. So for the moment, I have something in my blog for how to clear, you know, how to keep clear. So hopefully that will help you. I send you all lots of love and light. Namaste. And I promise to come back with the reading because I did pull the cards. I didn't look at them. I'm going to put them aside. I will come back to that and get to you later today. But I send you blessings and love. Namaste.